Good morning, brothers and sisters from all around North America. Welcome to Morning Heart Devotion. Let's start off by offering a greeting, a bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. 천진 참부모님께 경배 바로. And to lead us through the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇조권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 찬운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 처녀극 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Milhan Stevens. And now to open us in prayer, I'd like to call on Yuko Maskiotra. Yuko Maskiotra, if she could open us up in a prayer, please.
Dearest Heavenly Parent, we thank you so much to have this morning devotion and with Dr. Yong and with our beloved brothers and sisters. And we really pray for true mother, her safety, her long life, and protection. And we are truly thank you for true mother. Without her, how can we fulfill our purpose of life? We thank you for Heavenly Parents. We thank you for Jesus. We thank you for true Father. But here on the earth, now true mother, we really support and protect and unite with the true mother to accomplish your will on the earth. We thank you so much for this time, moment. And thank you for Dr. Yong to guide this morning devotion. So all with our brother and sister heart, we sincerely attend this morning devotion to receive your guidance. We thank you so much. I report in the name of Jino Yukuma Shotra, present our family. Aju.
Thank you, Yuko. 마사오 투라상 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Yuko Maski Otra. And now, brothers and sisters, let us start the day in joy by sharing our appreciation points with everyone, with your partner this morning. So we're going to go into breakouts now. Please click join. If you're by yourself, please take this moment to reflect on what you're grateful for this morning. We'll see you all in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful sharing, heartfelt sharing. I was with Uncle Steven and Kume Konsonim, and was also with Norikuni Nishikawa. Fortunately, Uncle Steven dropped off just a little bit, but I had a very intimate conversation, a very fun conversation with Nori, who I'd like to invite up to share his gratitude point this morning. Norikuni Nishikawa.
Thank you, Westford. Can everyone hear me good? Just make sure.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yes, once again, I'm grateful for Dr. Yong. So thank you, Dr. Yong, and everyone actually behind the scenes as well, including Westford, always being able to offer the best, offer his wondrous files, and as well as everyone for today's breakout room and the many breakout rooms, being able to share honestly and openly with many brothers and sisters across the world, so to speak. It is truly an honor. And as Westford was sharing just a little bit about his gratitude point, it made me realize, once again, the small things in life and the small occurrences that happens in my life with the community that I'm in, and even the moments where I may not appreciate at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that God is always there loving me, and that more and more that I can see the signs and accept God or follow what God is trying to tell me. Like this morning, literally I just woke up, I look at the time, it's just exactly at 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I should probably join morning devotion. So here I am. So thank you so much, God, for letting me come here today and to share in front of everyone. To you, Dr. Yong, and for everyone else to come join this morning. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Norikuni, for your sharing. Wow, thank you so much for your, you naturally really accept Heavenly Parents as your own parent. Thank you for your appreciation. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Nori. If you wake up at 6, it means God is telling you to join morning devotion. And next, I'd like to invite up, they may already know that they're going to be picked, but John and Keiko King. John and Keiko King, I'd like to invite you to share this morning.
Wow. I didn't know we were going to be picked.
From Canada.
Yeah. Anyway, we enjoyed the discussion with Reverend Milhan this morning. He was bringing up a very good point that all of the, I think God is cultivating all of the science and religion and academic and all sorts of spheres are coming to the peak of the mountaintop. And I think, as I understood it, he said, we're sitting up there with true parents. And it made me think of one thing I thought of a few years ago, that science has a very good potential to prove God before religion. That science can prove God exists. As the science is developing, more and more they're going to the things that are more internal, I think, on some levels. So I'm grateful of God's providence of developing so well. And as I shared, my point of gratitude was I'm really grateful to see our young second generation who are not children anymore. They're growing up with their own families and taking responsibility. And I believe they're really bringing great comfort to our Heavenly Parent, our true parents. So I'm really grateful for second gen and third gen and so on.
Yeah, Keiko-san.
Good morning. I'm also grateful for our true mother, like the Yuko-san's prayer this morning. And when I'm reading every morning, little by little, true mother's memoir, I can see the righteous people all over the world. Somehow those people, even before they didn't know the true parents, they are doing the God's will. I think that is because of the true parents, the victorious foundation. And then the Reverend Milhan said, those people, we are standing on top of the mountain together with the true parents, but those people are, eventually more get higher and higher, their conscience eventually come together. I'm really grateful for the true parents' victory because the God inspire the capable people all over the world. Eventually, doing the God's will for the sake of the building the world peace.
Yeah, thank you, John and Keiko. How come your couple resemble each other so much, like a dual characteristics? Oh my God, such an ideal couple. That's why you resemble each other so much. That's why maybe internally a lot of fighting. So I think already you overcame. Thank you so much for your couple, John, Keiko.
Yes, thank you, John and Keiko King. Dr. Yong says it quite a bit. That you live together so much, you start to look like each other. But with that, brothers and sisters, let's prepare our hearts, let's prepare our minds to receive our heavenly inspiration this morning through our beloved Dr. Chon-Sik Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassadors for peace. 안녕하십니까? Yesterday, I talked about heaven's providence and devotion to give birth to the only begotten daughter. Today, I'd like to talk about God is your Father. I'd like to share based upon, Mothers of Peace memoir. So let's invite Heavenly Honey to read Mother's word.
I was only excited and delighted by the words, one and only daughter of the Lord. Mother often called me precious daughter of the Lord with emphasis, as if she were praying. Throughout her life, this was the term that she used when she prayed for me, her only daughter. In this way, I grew up feeling honored that I was the daughter of God, the daughter of the Lord. My maternal grandmother, Jo Wan Mo, also looked into my eyes and told me clearly, God is your Father. Because of that, whenever I heard the word Father, my heart would burst in my chest. For me, the word Father brought to mind not my own father, but our Heavenly Father.
Wow, great. Do you know the true mother's name? Hong Sune. We call her Hong Demonim, right? Hong Demonim, who was true mother's mother, raised true mother and educated her as the only begotten daughter of God. Not as a physical mother, but as a nanny, as a nanny. What we are learning here is teaching us that when we raise our children, we must also raise them as a nanny, not as our own children. This is a very, very important point about that. Reverend Yohani mentioned always the same things. Even true father, true mother also mentioned. Actually, Hong Demonim exactly practice when, Hong Demonim take care of the true mother, treat true mother as a God's only begotten daughter, as the one and only daughter of the Lord. That kind of attitude we need to really inherit from Hong Demonim. We are raising our children as a humanistic view because we believe that it is our children who make mistakes while raising them. So our mistake, always we are making mistake. We treat our own children as my own child. You are my son, you are my daughter. We do not treat them as God's sons and daughters. This is kind of the humanistic view, humanistic thinking, humanistic idea and attitude always make the problems. This is one of the main our problem. So as we raise our children, we must serve and nurture our children with the heart that God has entrusted them to us. God has entrusted our children to us. They are actually not my children. They are God's direct children. When we raise up our children in such a way, oh my God, how much really we can raise up our children very, very well. From this point of view, Hong Daemonim was a really great person. Just as Moses' mother raised Moses from the position of the nanny, Hong Daemonim fulfilled her portion of responsibility. Therefore, whenever we treat our spouse and children or parents in the home and our family members, we should treat them with heavenly dignity as God's representatives or as sons and daughters of God. This is a really important point. That's why when I studied this morning and yesterday again through Mother's Word and think about our Hong Daemonim's attitude, I really reflect on myself. I treat my wife as really God's daughter and God's representative. When I raise up my own children, I call their name, Sun-sin, Yu-sin, Ji-sun. And also, when I see my grandchildren, often I really treat them as my own child, my own grandchildren, as my own wife. That is the reason, that is the reason I cannot raise up my children properly. This is the problem. We need to learn from Hong Daemonim. Because, True Mother is a special case, and nothing like that. We need to learn really Hong Daemonim's attitude. If we have the same kind of the Hong Daemonim attitude, we are just a nanny. And in order to raise up our children as God's children, you are daughter of the Lord. You are son of the Lord. No? So if we raising up our children in such a way, when we treat my wife not as my own wife, God's representative, my parents are really, God himself. And then, if we have that kind of attitude and treatment, wow, our life, how much it can change. Mr. So is beside me always. He's my secretary. I reflect on myself this morning. I treat him just as my own secretary. He's one of the, main guy to support me. Or I treat him really God's son. Then my attitude completely changed. Why my heart, my spirit cannot grow up well? Because always I treat people humanistic way. When we treat anyone as a humanistic view, humanistic attitude, there is no God. There is no dignity. That's why this morning I really reflect myself a lot through our Hong Daemonim's attitude. Next one.
Oh, sorry. Because of such love in my home, I never worried about my life. Despite our poverty and despite my father not being with us, I always was content. This was because I knew that God was my father, that he was my reason for being alive, and that he was always right there by my side, taking care of me. I sensed that God was my real parent from the moment of my birth. I realize now that I had a sensitive spiritual intuition. My husband recognized this in me and complimented me for my insight into things that were taking place. He did so sometimes during his talks to members.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. From a young age, true mother grew up knowing that heavenly parents were her natural parents. If we humans had not fallen, we have grown up knowing our heavenly parent as our innate parents, just a natural parent. No need to learn. Can you imagine who is God? You need to know who is God. You know, when you're raising up your children, no need to tell your own baby, your own children, do you know who I am? No, I am your mother, I am your mother, I am your father. Need to teach them all the time? Not like that. Just become very, very natural. So true mother is God's only begotten daughter. When she grew up, really naturally accept God is my own father, my own parents. So if Adam and Eve do not fall, the descendant of Adam and Eve naturally can accept God is my eternal parent. No need to teach dual characteristics. No need to teach what is the God's identity. Do you know who is God? No need to teach about that because of the fall. We need to recover one by one. That is really our fallen man's agony. Therefore, when we, from this point of view, God directly raised the true mother through Hong Demonim. Therefore, when we raise our children, if we treat our children as children of God, it is said that the heavens raise them directly. This is very important. Your attitude is very important. If your attitude treat your children as God's sons and daughters, God's direct child, then the remaining job is God directly raise up them. But if I have a wrong attitude, wrong mindset, then become very much humanistic and very much horizontal. Then Satan anytime invade. That's why we need to really realize this point. Whenever I see the people, whenever I see my children, see my spouse, how do I treat them? Humanistic way or God's point of view? This is the point. When we have the right attitude, you are God's sons and daughters. We treat anyone as God's sons and daughters, then God directly can intervene. God directly raise up them based on my right attitude. The reason we make mistake in our life of faith is because we think of everything from a human point of view. That is the problem. Today's Father's word, the way to receive God's love and grace. Heavenly Honey, please read.
If you were to experience God's agonizing heart, God would forget his agony and accept you with open arms. Additionally, you have hope as you are walking the way of heavenly virtue, the way of finding truth, but God is filled with concern for you. For those of you walking this way, God's love and grace will be with you. If you did not live in such a way, then you should feel concerned. Do not blame and resent your brothers and fellow countrymen. Do not blame and resent the world and God. If you should blame and resent someone, blame yourself. You should blame yourself before you blame and resent other people, and before you blame and resent God.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. If we were to experience God's agonizing heart, Father said God would forget his agony and accept you with open arms. Wow. It's an attitude, right? So if you want to experience God's agonizing heart, God's sorrowful heart, God's suffering, God's difficulties, and then you need to feel, his agony, his sorrow. My sorrow is connect to God's sorrow. My experience connect to God's experience. If you have this kind of the same mindset as God, God accept you and with open arms. Additionally, you have hope as you are walking the way of heavenly virtue, the way of finding truth. Father said here, but God is filled with concern for you. God is concerned for you 24 hours. Just like a parents worry after their child when he is away. So, Father said, when you comfort God's sorrowful and agonizing heart, his love and grace will be with you. This kind of really attitude, not simple matter. That's why I really learned from Father. Father's attitude as a filial son. Always he think, I will be responsible for God. Secondly, I will protect no matter what for God. And then thirdly, no matter what, I will serve him, love him. This kind of the mindset attitude is the mindset of the filial sons and daughters. That is the attitude of the parental heart. So we need to learn from true parents how to treat people, how to treat God, how to treat the nature, everything. I really learn our true parents three kind of the principle of the parental heart. Number one, no matter what, I will be responsible for you. Secondly, no matter what, I will protect for you. Number three, no matter what, I will wage up for you. Wow. When you are struggling with your enemy, you need to think that way. When you are raising up your children, you need to think that way. When you see someone's fault, someone persecute you, misunderstand you, you need to have the opposite way. How can I protect him? How can I be responsible for him? How can I raise up for him? This is a really great point. That's why Father said, when you comfort God's sorrowful and agonizing heart, Heavenly Parents, I will protect you. I will be responsible for your sorrowful, agonizing heart. No matter what, I love you. I care for you. I attend you. And Father said, God's love and grace will be with you. If you did not live such a way, then you should feel concern for yourself. Do not blame and region of your brothers and fellow countrymen. Why you should not reason others? Your heart have been indebted to God. And you are the object of his concern. Therefore, do not blame and resent the world and God. Wow. If you should blame and resent someone, blame yourself. You should blame yourself before you blame and resent other people and before you blame and resent God. Really, we have no qualification to blame anyone. Always really reflect on our own self. Today's youth ministry about how can you reconcile to God. And yesterday I talked about today series 2. How can you be reconciled to God? The principle that we can be reconciled only when we deny ourselves applies equally to our human life. Self-denial. Without self-denial, there is no way to reconcile with God. We came from, Satan's lineage, background. That's why we are actually enemy to God. So in order to reconcile with God, you need to completely separate from Satan. It means you need to deny your own self. I am not mine. I belong to God. nothing deal with Satan. With that kind of the self-denial, there is no way to reconcile with God. This is that's why this kind of principle, we need to apply equal to our human family as well. The disharmony in our lives is problematic because we put ourselves first and do calculation and arguing. This always create, that's why always create disharmony. What's the main reason create disharmony? Because you always put your own self, your own opinion first. You try to convince your spouse, you try to convince your children, you insist on your own opinion first. And then always calculating, always centering on self-center. That's the reason always arguing. You think that you are really principled. You are really good, and the other person is not good. I am really correct, you are wrong. This kind of attitude, let's say, even though you are very much a principle, you are saying something or writing, but you just only say like that without loving, without heart, without embracing. It does not work at all. It does not work. Sometimes the feelings of the faith and reason do not become one. There are times when people think that it is right with the reason, but cannot accept it in their heart. And other times when people can understand, accept it in their heart, but think that it is not right with the reason, right? Therefore, you should always put the feelings and heart of faith first. And always try to see from God's point of view. Not centering on the reason. Not centering on principle. Not centering on my own calculation. It does not work. The most important, you need to put your heart and love. If you focus on heart and love, you are right or you are right, I am wrong. This is the second matter. You try to accept, try to embrace a centering on heart, then any reason, any kind of external things can be solved. This is the point. If we have that kind of attitude, surely I can become the peacemaker. I can become real. Anyway, I can make a person to make reconciliation. Reconciliation is possible only in the position of true children. This is because when your heart grows and you can feel God's circumstance and heart a lot, you can become a person who can be reconciled. Therefore, reconciliation is impossible if my spirit and heart do not grow. Why I cannot embrace people? Why I will always become troublemaker? Why I'm always arguing with my spouse, my children, with the other neighbor, or with my neighbor? Why I always this kind of complaint heart comes out? What is the reason? You mentioned very clearly. Reconciliation only possible in the position of true children. In order to become true children, you need to grow up. As much as you grow up, you can embrace anyone. You can reconcile with anyone. But your spirit is not yet grow up much. Then you try to unite with somebody, it is impossible. That's why we need to focus on my own self-growth, spiritual growth. And then when your heart is really growing up and become mature enough, then you can handle anyone, you can embrace anyone, you can digest even your enemy. But your container of your heart is very, very narrow, very, very small heart, and always complaining, always arguing and fighting each other. Then what's the best way to reconcile? You need to grow up. Really mature enough. From formation stage, growth stage. From growth stage to completion stage. You need to enter the world of heart. Otherwise, your container is never expand to embrace, your own brothers and sisters. This is the important point. That's why here mentioned that reconciliation is possible only in the position of true children. In order to become true children, no other way. You need to grow up. So the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the Son of God. Not easy to become peacemaker. How to become peacemaker? You need to grow up and then become real God's children. God's real children, wherever you go, always become peacemakers. Reconciliation cannot be achieved by focusing only on one's own circumstances and selfish thought without feeling God's circumstances and heart. This is the principle of reconciliation. In order to be harmonious, there must be no person whom you hate. You should be able to embrace and take care of even those you hate. We are human beings. We are fallen men. We are often struggling with somebody, with you able. Everybody have that kind of challenge. You can love someone, but you cannot love also another person. We are always challenged. That is our task. We cannot love someone. This is our challenging. When we overcome it, when you overcome, you are hate someone, I am telling you, you can reach a different dimension. So when I was young, just joined church, and then relationship with Abel in the army, and then after I become the church pioneer here and there, I need to deal with good Abel, bad Abel, all kinds of people. Sometimes I need to deal with some member really struggling with me, this and that. But when I overcome, when I really overcome, I don't like someone. I can see that I reach a different dimension. That's why our main job is what? How can we digest our enemy? Without loving our enemy, we cannot become men of true love. True love can digest even our own enemy. This is the point. That's why God always giving you homework. God said, you need to love that person, even though you don't like that person. God always giving that kind of homework and task. Each person is different according to your position, according to your situation. Someone is more higher level. He has a different level of the task. That's why if we do not love someone, you don't like someone, then your spirit cannot grow up. This is the issue. How can we do? Once again, I'd like to read it here. In order to be harmonious, there must be no person whom you hate. You should be able to embrace and take care of even those you hate. You must be a person who can show compassion to others. That's why whenever I struggle with somebody, someone persecute me, misunderstand me, even though I try to go right way. But always that guy persecute me, misunderstand me, hate me. And then true parents teach me that you need to have the same mindset as me. You need to think that I have to be responsible for that person no matter what. No matter what, you need to protect that person. No matter what, you need to raise up that person, centering on true love. When I have this kind of the true parental guidance, and then really immediately change my mindset. Wow, true parental guidance is really amazing, really amazing. You should always be able to bring freedom, peace, happiness, and blessing to those who are around you. Our job is to convey freedom and peace and happiness and blessing to others. That is our job. The present era is the era of the reconciliation after the end of the restoration through the indemnity, the era of the fighting with Satan. Now, the era of the indemnity is already over. Of course, we have, each person is different situation. You have your own indemnity costs still remain, maybe. However, in general, the present era is the era of the reconciliation of the end of the restoration through humanity. Therefore, now is the time to show the world that we are reconciled. Now is the fruit-bearing season. That's why whenever we approach it to Christian ministers and neighbors, our tribe, we need to think that now is the time to show the world that we are reconciled. To reconcile what to do, you need to grow up. You need to have the parental heart to embrace them. Then surely we can bear fruit. It is an era when people around you want to believe in you. Wow. Someone look at you. Yeah, I do not know Reverend Moon and Mrs. Moon. I do not know, God is a living God or not. But seeing you, I want to become Unification Church member. Seeing your couple, your family, I want to receive blessing. Should be like that. Should be like that. That's why it is an era when people around you want to believe in you, want to follow you, want to resemble you. As a leader, it is no longer an era of verbal speaking, but how you influence those around you. You need to become the substance of the word, and the substance of love, and become a person who influences those around you so that people around you cannot help but have faith. People around me should be influenced by me and be determined to practice their faith. I have no idea God is or not. God does exist or not. I have no idea. I don't have any idea really Reverend Moon is the Messiah or not. However, seeing you, I really, really want to resemble you. I really want to close to you. I never ever seen this kind of guy, this kind of couple, this kind of family. I never ever seen. Just seeing your family, I really want to resemble. Can I join you? Can you teach me? Wow. This kind of person always making reconciliation. In other words, you must become a person who has the power to, reproduce life. If you are alive, then surely you will multiply. That's why I always saying that life only gives birth to life. You are really alive, surely you will multiply. But if we are spiritually dead, we cannot reproduce. This is the problem. When you are alive, result automatically come out. Automatic. When you are alive, then many people come to you. Why people do not come to me? Why struggle with me? Your spiritual life is not so much stable. That's the reason. True parents are the one who having driving first to move the wall of our heart. The driving force was achieved on the basis that true parents regarded God as absolute. And God regarded true parents as absolute. Therefore, we must also regard God and true parents as absolute. Only this way can we be reconciled to God. You know? That's why you need to deny yourself. When you really believe in God absolutely, when you believe true parents absolutely, you know, there's a perfect plus can create perfect minus. Therefore, if we believe in God really such absolute way, absolute obedience, absolute faith, absolute love, to this kind of the way, not just only we believe in God and believe in true parents. If we believe in God absolute, if we believe in true parents absolute, and then God treat me as an absolute partner, absolute object partner. This kind of attitude is really important. Because true parents are alive and have overcome the suffering of the cross, they can move the wall of the human heart. Why all mankind, why everybody try to resemble true parents? Try to unite with them? Because they really overcame all kind of the cross and suffering and difficulties. And then they become the driving force of the true love. So we need to resemble like that and grow up, become God's sons and daughters, and then we can be reconciled to our heavenly parents and true parents with any other one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young, today on your message of reconciling with God. It's been going on for a few days now, and I really appreciate all that you share on it. And brothers and sisters, now's our time to share with each other, to digest first, and to share with each other our insights and anything we gain from it. So please click join as you enter your breakouts. And if you're by yourself, please take this moment to reflect on what was just shared. We'll see you all in a few minutes. And we're back. We're back. I hope you had a wonderful sharing with whoever was in your breakout. I had a very intimate one-on-one with beloved sister Susan Edwards. Susan Edwards from Florida, who I'd like to call on now to share with us her reflection point this morning. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was very, very good sharing. And this is very amazing what Dr. Young shared about. I always tried with my children to really love them from they're God's children. I even nursed other babies when I was nursing my kids. I nursed they're all my kids, like that. God's kids, so I have to nurse them. I have to take care of God's kids. But it's not enough because it was in my head, not in my heart enough. So I have to really repent, and I'm so grateful for this to know this, because my grandchildren, not my grandchildren. I have to learn from True Mother how she learned from Damon. So I really appreciate what you said to me, and I'm going to do it. I have to do it. I have to change myself completely.
Wow.
And become much better person, much more godly person. So thank you, Dr. Young, for this very important thing.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm not enough yet, but I'm coming on.
I think your sharing is so powerful and so great. Thank you so much for your honest sharing.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Yes, 감사합니다. Thank you very much, Aunt Susan. She is very, very powerful and very strong with her words, and I really appreciated speaking to her. Next, I'd like to invite up another dear aunt of mine from New Jersey, Ava Ozaki. Ava Ozaki, to share with us her reflection point this morning.
All right. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Eva-chan.
Good morning, Dr. Young. Good morning, everybody. Actually, I live in Maryland. That's right.
Totally. I was thinking of someone else.
Thank you. I was with Pastor Milhan, and I was really reflecting because Dr. Young said that this harmony comes if we put myself first, and he said, like, if I think I'm correct, and the other person is wrong, then it doesn't work, because especially if it's not with love and heart, because sometimes we forget about that. Yes, I'm right. So I really am grateful, Dr. Young, always stressing, with heart and with love. And I realized that for myself right now, to develop more my heart is to have a heart of gratitude, like grateful to my husband, grateful to my children. That really opens up more, because, it's sometimes we don't, like doctors, if you take things for granted, it's so, not easy. But if I have gratitude, it really helps me to more love and to start from there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Young.
you, Eva. That's why we, when we deal with our spouse or our own children, we need to put our heart first. The principle is second.
Yes.
We need to put our heart and love first, and then principle is second. Why we create this harmony? Because we principle first, and then put our heart is second. That is the problem.
Yes.
That's really creating this harmony. Even though I'm saying I'm right. It is really, I am telling you, I'm telling the truth. Yeah, you can tell truth, but there is no heart there. That's why, your spouse want to receive, you want to feel your love and heart. Why always saying just principle? I am right. You are bad guy, terrible guy. My God.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Young.
Yeah, and Eva and Dr. Young. Just really briefly, when Dr. Young was sharing, especially in the point on loving your enemies, I thought back to the Chosen video. Most of you have seen the Chosen video. And there's a part where Archbishop Stalin goes, he loved his enemies. He lived for the sake of others. And I feel like that really perfectly sums up who true parents are. And it's so beautiful that alone, gives us sort of substance. And that's just enough as long as we love our enemies and live for the sake of others. And so thank you very much, Dr. Yong, for sharing with us today. Now on to our announcements. I'd like to just invite you all to invite people to be a part of this morning devotion experience. If you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, you can join the Zoom room by going to edu.familyfed.org to be able to join in this sort of in-person experience with everyone here. And also, if you'd like to donate, I'd like to ask you to give joyfully by clicking the link in the chat. Everything there goes towards supporting morning devotion ministry, the production and everything behind the scenes. And so if you'd like to give, the link is in the chat. You can also set recurring so you don't have to think about it again. And now it's my pleasure, it's my honor to welcome up our musical offering for today. She's, most of you know her. She's a very powerful sister in New York. And that is Dr. Juanita Pierre-Louis. Dr. Juanita Pierre-Louis, everyone.
Thank you, Redford.
Hey, Juanita!
Hello, Doc. Hello. How are you doing? I like the sound of doctor, but I like most the sound of auntie and mama. So you can call me Mama Juanita or Auntie Juanita. I like those sounds, but they give a certain resonance, this morning I was thinking about being patriotic, but something said, no, just have fun and love. And I would like to say to you, Dr. Yong, you have revived America. I cannot go beyond that, over that, around it or nothing, but I have seen people grow. I've seen the spiritual growth in this nation.
Thank you.
I've seen the revival. So we got to take this revival outside too. And we've got to revive this country. And I love this country. But this morning, I just want to sing a song about being friends, okay?
Yeah.
Yes. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Ooh, you just call on her, and soon will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call our mother's name, and wherever she is, she'll come running. Oh, yes, she will, to see you again. Oh, hey, winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you got to do is call, and she'll be there. Yes, she will. You got a friend. When the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old east wind began to blow, ooh, keep your head together and call mother's name out loud. And soon you'll see her running to your door. Oh, you just call out her name, and wherever she is, she'll come running. Oh, yes, she will, to see you again. Oh, yeah. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you got to do is call, and she'll be there. Yes, she will. You got a friend. Now ain't it good to know that you got a friend? 'Cause people can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but Dr. Young, don't you let them. You just call out her name, and you know wherever she is, she'll come running, running to see you again. Oh, hey, winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you got to do is call, and she'll be there. Yes, she will. You got a friend. You got a friend in our mother. You got a friend. Thank you.
Whoa! Hallelujah! Bravo! Our Juanita, thank you for your beautiful song. You are the Edna's God, Pastor Edna's God. Thank you so much for your beautiful singing. Okay, 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Dr. Juanita. That was really beautiful. Thank you for sharing with us.
For the rest, Fred, one thing
Yes.
I'd like to mention that just now someone sent the message to chat room here. The Oduma's surgery is scheduled for today. I'd like to ask all brothers and sisters, pray for him and then quickly recover. And then I want to hear his beautiful song again. Thank you.
Yes, please pray for our brother Hot Marwine. And actually, there's another announcement I completely forgot. And Aunt Ray Beth May put in the chat. The Peace and Blessing Festival, what we saw on June 5th, is being rebroadcasted. It's being rebroadcasted up until July 3rd. So Monday to Friday, 12, 6, 9 Eastern Time. 12, 6, 9, not 12 a.m., 12 p.m., 6, 9. And then in the weekends, we have 9, 12, and 6. 9, 12, and 6. So if you'd like to rewatch it together with your guests, we can't leave it up on the website to play because of broadcasting rights, but we can schedule it at those times. So if you'd like to watch or watch it with your guests, those are the times it's playing. It's in the chat for you to reference. So with that, I'd like to call on to close it out in prayer, Kotone Narifsa, to close out in prayer.
Yeah, please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, true parents in Jesus, good morning, Heavenly Parent. We are all gathered here today, this morning, this Thursday morning, and learning so much, getting so much wisdom, and feeding our spirit selves, Heavenly Parent. I know that in the day-to-day, everyday tasks that we go through, we can, it's so easy to forget your existence in our lives, and it's so easy to blame all of our misfortune, all of our difficulty on the world and on everything else except for ourselves. So it's really time, Heavenly Parent, for all of us to take responsibility for ourselves and for all of the things that come our way, and really be confident that we're able to put one foot in front of the other, and really trust in you and trust in the process, and really understanding that each difficulty that's given to us is an opportunity for us to grow and to become closer to you, and to understand your heart more, and to reconcile our relationship with you that was lost at the beginning during the fall. That's really the importance of everything that we teach. Adam and Eve was unable to take responsibility and come to you for help and ask for guidance, and continue to blame the people around us in our environment, and continue to blame other people in the circumstance that was given. So it's time for us to understand this idea, and really be able to make a change and be able to do things differently this time because of this amazing education that we're given, and for true parents, and for Dr. Young and everybody here, and so many of this wonderful first gen. So as a second gen, we're really grateful to be able to stand on that foundation, and I hope that we can take each word and take each interaction to heart, and really be excited to be given this opportunity to reconcile our relationship with you and the people around us, and build our relationship with ourselves to better ourselves. And so I'm grateful again for another day of life, and for True Mother and for everybody here. I really pray for everyone's health and well-being, and for all of the challenges and all of the great things that are to come today and this week. So thank you so much. 사랑합니다. I'd like to end my prayer in my name, Katone Narfusa, daughter of Hiroshi and Toshiko Narfusa, Blessed Central Family. Ashu.
아주 코토네. Very, very beautiful prayer. When can I see you, Rika and Kotone? No other choice. I need to go to Hawaii, to see you. To see you. My God. Okay.
Yes, everyone's invited.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kotone. And brothers and sisters, all good things must come to an end, except more devotion. We'll see you all bright and early tomorrow at 6 a.m. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
감사합니다. Thank you. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. 감사합니다.